informative, engaging, educational, empowering, and more.
Successful Living with Reginald Campbell.
You're listening to Successful Living with Reginald Campbell.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us, and welcome to the Successful Living podcast with Reginald Campbell. We're going to talk about money briefly, and the way we're going to talk about it, we're not going to be up here too long, because most of the time when you start talking about money, everybody don't look well, especially when you hit them in the liver. So a couple of these questions this evening are going to hit you in the liver. I want to thank those that are part of the House of Reconciliation and to our Greenwood campus, as well as those that are joining us. We normally do it every third Wednesday, but we're doing it this Wednesday early. We thank you, as well as to all of our international community. We thank you and for the numbers and the increase that are coming from Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, Taylors, Anderson, Easley, and of course to our international group. Can't name them all: Vietnam, Iran, Great Britain, just so many of them. Nigeria, South Africa. So I thank all of you. But we're going to talk this evening about basic financial steps. If you don't have the book, when I finish, you will really want the book, because the book is almost like the counter antidote for these things that we're going to talk about. You can get the book at your local retailers, or you can get it online. Barnes & Nobles have it, Amazon, as well as www.reginaldcampbellbooks.com has it. We talked a little bit about the last time we were together. Money won't manage itself. So I'm going to ask you, in the middle of this month, have you checked your budget to see whether you're in line with your projections, or to know why you are out of line with your budget? So money will not manage itself. Normally, the attitude, the behavior, and the lack of focus and lack of discipline becomes the blower. If you are a lawn care person, each one has a blower, and it will blow everything that you have thought, you have planned, and you have budgeted out of the water. And most of the time, it is the things that you did not plan for, and many times it's the most unimportant things that take away our money. We're going to talk this evening about determined but not informed. Many people across the country, and I thank all of you who have purchased the book and those that will purchase the book, it turns around that a lot of people are determined. They are, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this happen. And many times what he or she is saying is that they can handle the moment, but not the situation. Because in that moment, you're all charged up to do it, which that's your emotions. But as time progresses, now the behavior and the mindset that you had when you were determined but not informed on how to do it. There's a couple things I'm going to share with you. Number one, for those that are writing, sustainable success is in the details. The average person who does not like details are very bad at budgeting. If I had a conversation, and I'm not calling them out, but I had a conversation, or I asked a particular company, where are you with your budget? And I told one particular company, I said, we need to spend the money in the beginning of the third quarter, because once we get past the first month, we got 2 more months, and then we got fourth quarter. We really need to show an increase so we can go into 2024, because we have several $100,000s that have to be paid out. If we're constantly spending money along the way, and we're nick pinching this and nick pinching that, some things you need to knock out and be done with, if that makes sense, instead of pitting it along with them, because then you cannot really add up the total sum that you're working on. So I told them, and of course you get the blowback, I need you all to do this by the end of July, because come August, I'm going to change my perspective on what I will allow you to spend. So when we talk about that, sustainable success is in the details. Most people who talk money are wasteful with money. It's people who have budgets are the people that are able to sustain, because a budget isn't something you look at every now and then. A budget is something that many times, until you get the behavior and get things in line, you have to track them every day. Now, how do we do this? I'm going to ask you, and you may not have an answer, what is your spending allowance for today? You just take your card and go swipe it? See, because when you lay out a budget, then you break it down weekly or however you get paid bi-weekly, you need to break it down daily. Now, let me give you an insight. Just don't do it on 5 days. You need to do it on 7, because most of y'all look like y'all could win a contest swiping the card on Sunday morning going to get breakfast. Did you plan for breakfast? No, but I feel like breakfast. Somebody said they feel it in their shana now. You know, so you can't just have a budget for work. You can't have a Monday through Friday budget, because you're going to swipe that card more on the weekend than you did in the week. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Why do you go to the store every day? Why do you shop online every day? These are things I want you to think, because the sustainable success is in details. How prepared are you for the month of July? We're doing successful living today. How prepared? So what's the day? Have you looked at your budget? Not your bank account. Oh, I got some money in there. That's not your money. That's your bill money. That's your car payment. Say it again. And see, this is what most people don't do. This is the danger of having a card. Is how do you sell? You go to swipe something, and they're like, "What you like?" No, I don't need a receipt. Yes, you do. Because you need to sit down every 3 to 4 days and add up everything that you have bought. Everything. 1 penny will change all the numbers on your budget. Somebody talk to me. Sustainable success is in the details of preparation. How prepared are you? So if we're getting ready to head to the 15th of the month, how are you going to make it the last 15 days? Are you in the plus or the minus? Are you even? Anybody want to say? I told you class won't be long tonight. Do I know? Oh, that's what I was waiting on. Somebody said, "Oh, God got me. What's up? I'm looking for a miracle." Hallelujah. I'm looking for, girl, God gonna do it. God gonna. Let me tell you what really tears me up. Let me tell you what really tears me up. Is won't he do it? If you want to see me get upset, you let somebody come out. Oh, Lord, hallelujah. Won't he do it? Shut up. Just shut up. Because most people live with an internal knee-jerk reaction. So if you're a writer, sustainable success is in the details. What's your preparation? Most people are living day by day what I call with the unexpected, the knee-jerk reaction. Here is what I'm going to say to those, and you all are way younger than me. I think I'm the oldest thing in this building. Listen, I want you to hear me. Don't try to understand what I'm saying. Just listen. If you can't get a return on it, then what's the true value of it? If it can't yield you, why'd you invest in it? I don't even need my glasses to look at y'all. Well, why did you purchase it? It's the same thing. That one right there, when all my kids were coming up, I would purchase every one of them a Honda Civic, because I had a service guy that could work on it. They were very inexpensive at the time, and they would normally last you. How many years you spent in college? Okay, let's get bougie because you'll be bougie on Sunday. She'll be bougie on Sunday. Excuse me, hi, how are you? I am so glad to be a part. And right now she's talking about four. Oh, it's after 5. Okay, so after 5 you can go back to your normal voice. Okay, but here's the thing. And what I'm trying to do is not tell you what to do. I'm trying to show you how to think. Each one of those kids that came along that I was responsible for, I purchased them a car that was similar because you don't want the jealousy. The car should get them through, most of them got their car around 16, 17. I don't know what was wrong with my oldest daughter. She was a little slow. I don't think she got a license until she was, like 21, 19. So she'll probably be buzzing me. Dad, I can't believe you said that about me. Well, baby girl, your grandparents asked, is she all right? Everybody else got their license when they were 15 to 16. But here's what I'm saying. You get something early at a good cause. It should last and finish them through high school. It should take them through 4 years of college. It should take them to 2 years of getting their master's. How many years is that? 6? 8 if you give it to them when they get, okay. So that's 8 years. Now listen to me. You pay for it. They have 8 years of a free car. Then on their first 2 years of their job, before they get when they get promoted, they hadn't had a car payment in 10 years. If you teach them to take $250 out a month, somebody multiplied, what will they have in 10 years? See, that is the one that's unprepared. The one that's underprepared, this is what they said. They have a lot of money. $30,000. So at age 21 or 22, had your parents been thinking and taught you this principle, how old are you? You sure? Because you're like, but I didn't. Nobody tell me this morning how old I was, so I need to ask them again. Okay, so if you're 15, if your parents started that now, where you having a job, by the time you're 25, you will have $30,000. Because you had now. Oh, okay, let's throw credit in here. Most of the time, when you get a car payment, you've never paid a bill in your life. So you don't know the dynamics of paying a car payment because you know what you want, but you haven't been afforded the ability to understand what it takes to get it. I just want the red one. Mom and Daddy, y'all get me the blue one. If you don't get me the blue one, don't get me nothing. I've seen it. I've seen it in my own family. So what happens is, if it can't get a return on it. See, the quicker you teach your kids and put them through the program that I've shared, that you can go online and figure out and contact us, the smarter your kid will be. So when your kid becomes an adult, they will already have one thing that most of you all don't have in this room. Discipline with money. Come on and smile back at me. Show me them 3 teeth. Get your pose on. If you cannot get a return on it, then what is true value? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of things. Vision and behavior and attitude is a must in planning. Now, let's get a little thicker. Do you know which way your money is going? As of today. Do I know? Okay, because here's the thing. Most people don't know if their money is going out, coming in, or they don't know where it's going at all. So you're working on a hamster wheel and can never get the fruit that you're pursuing. Here is what it does for the writer. It depends on what you are reflecting on. What does that mean? Are you a product of your culture? Do I know? Yes, you're going to ask questions. If you be on time. Well, you did good, Dan. Let's clap. Yes, you can ask questions. I try to start early so I can let you out. What's your question? You got a question? To be honest with you, there's a couple ways to do it. It depends on where you are at in your life, but you know you can freeze them. Okay. But then at some point, Sally may go and sell your loan. They all do. And when they do, you sometimes can freeze it. Now, don't y'all go do this. But you know you can freeze your house payment for 6 months. Now, don't y'all go get behind. Somebody tell me, don't play with me, don't play with me. Because if you have mixed, but it's a stipulation. On the backside, it balloons. But you figure by 30 years you'll be dead. That's what most people do. But on the backside, I'm just telling you what's, because this is how I view it. If you can't pay it in 29 years, then and you can't pay it now, you're not going to be able to pay it then. No, because your income is only going to increase from 3 to 5% a year. Yes. So the other option is when you look at the debt of your student loan, that means you got to create something to pay your student loan so you don't pay it. You have to create an extension of what we call passive income, where either you have something like whatever that is you got, look like them peacock fellas, you might ought to sell them online. That is very beautiful. Yeah. They could right now is 657 in Hong Kong. Somebody can get up and see that. We bought like 50 of them for the church on Mother's Day, so you can sell those. You see, so when you have something like that and it's above your budget line, that's your window to get creative. Some people have the gift for making beads. Some people have the gift of designing glasses or designing what style of glasses. The problem is society has locked you into what we call human capital. You've got pretty much everything you need, I believe, except for a doctor. But what you have to do, the third one, is get something to pay your bill. You have to create something, some type of business. Because what happens is when most people go get a second job, they create more bills. A second job should be to pay down, pay off, and pay forward. Most people go get a second job to go get more bills because I got that check coming from them on Thursday. I'm going to get them shoes. I don't care what nobody say. So you work 2 weeks to buy some shoes that you can't even sell for half the price. So at your level and at your cognitive ability, you may have to teach online. You may have to be an adjunct professor. And then dedicate that money to the bill. That's what people do who have money. So what it does, that's why I say it depends on what you are reflecting on. Most people are a product. Now she's looking at that now like, you know what? I'm going to get about 2 cases of these from across the ocean and find out where they come from, because you know where they come from. And I'm going to sell them over here, especially when it's hot, especially church folks. Ooh, child, girl, I don't know what it is. Yes, to match the first lady's outfit. There you go. So these, you have to have, see, there we go. Now, all of a sudden, I got to have one to match each outfit. That's 10 you've sold and made 3,000, 5,000% profit. Bang! There you go. Most people are a product of their culture. Ask me what that means. Many of us come from people who struggled. And so then our grandparents struggled. No, our grandparents survived, and our parents struggled. So everything we do from a struggle perspective. Not from a creative window, but from a struggle. So your culture plays a lot into what you do. If most of your people did certain types of work, carpentry, manufacturing, that's what you're going to do. And when you do something different, Your culture is going to say you're smart. And that makes people settle. Because you're better than, you may be smarter than they are, but you're not ready to compete in mainstream. Because the whole purpose of this ministry is to get you prepared to be able to function at a high level in mainstream. Does this make sense? So then, most people are a product of their present. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm patching my life. I'm patching my money. I got a little bit to pay over here. I got a little bit to pay over here. I got a little bit to pay. So they're a product. But here's what you should be doing. You should be a product of your future. Now, to the women, I want to say this to you. That's why I'm telling you, you got to do something extra. Women have 30% less in retirement than their counterparts. Can I be honest with you in 2023? That's your fault. Let me tell you why. No, let me tell you why. Why work for someone that's not going to pay you at your value? If you've gone to school, you've gone to education, you've got the experience. See, most people, it's one or two things that happen. Because right now, I can say this totally clear. If I was a female, which I'm not, so don't get it twisted, my numbers would quadruple. Right now in the world, whatever women are doing are at a 60 to 70% higher than men. The problem is we've had the old guards sitting in the way that see a woman and a lady one way and not see her for her value. So here's the thing I teach people in negotiating money. Before I accept what you've offered me, is your offer at market value? I don't mind being 3 to 5% behind market value, but it goes back to your culture and your environment. You accept what they gave you. Yes. I say this to people all the time. Get your tail in school and tell your company you're going to school. Now you have drawn the line in the sand to position yourself for future promotions. And you're telling them, as I finish my education, I'm expecting a pay increase. Now, I understand what people are going to bounce back and say, well, we're in the Greenville market. Greenville is in the top 5 cities in the country that's growing. As they would say, exponentially. So then why are you going to let people devalue your knowledge? Let someone come from somewhere else with the same knowledge, a less knowledge, but because they were paid at market value, you were under market value. Because that's how the South works. I always tell people, anytime, any negotiation that my company does, the first thing it is, y'all need to go study with my, someone had asked me about what should they charge in the field of continuing education and learning. And they thought I had an answer. I said, no. Google that particular field, market value. And that's where you start. Now I can tell you what they were going to charge. $200. And you know what the market value was for 1 hour? $1,500. So who cheating who? Who's cheating who? Because your present is in the way of your future. If you were thinking about your future, you would be one that wanted to understand, what is somebody getting paid in another area? So if they come here, you will hire them. And that's what most companies do. They'll hire them, but they won't promote you, because in the human resource structure, you only can get a certain percentage a year in raise. So it's easier for them to hire someone outside the box and pay them 25, 35% more than you doing the same job, and then promote them over you. Because if they promote you and you're in the house, then people are going to say, why did you promote her? Why does she has this space? Why does he has this space and it's not me? Someone that comes outside, they just tell you, go sit down over there. They're going to take this space. Oh, okay. Now, from someone who's done it and done it in corporate America and has his own business, you have to take a different attitude about yourself. Because can you imagine my bald head self trying to compete with other people? You know what I had to do? I had to take a different approach. You're not going to pay me less because I don't look like them. You with me now? The wheels are turning. See, yeah. So then this is how, but see, here's the thing. You can't carry yourself this way when you're in front of other people. You have to live this way every day. Every day. This has to be your persona. Not just when you're going around certain people. You know how you change? Hi, Bob. Hi, Linda. Hi, Becky. Hi, Rufus. Then you get around other people. What we gonna do today? You need to be that way every day. That is called professionalism. And you represent your company. You see my logo? I represent my company. I'm done wearing everybody else's logo. I got a couple hats I want to kick, but I ain't putting them on in here. But when I'm out there when nobody know me, because this is my brand, I want them to see it, because as it comes more to market, I want them to know this is my brand. Because I got a trademark. I don't want to shoot nobody in here, but I just, okay. I don't want no trouble. You got to be you got to start now being your future self. Now, women, I said you have 30% less in retirement. And so the thing that I took away from what you said is, if you keep making excuses, how do you cut down the distance? You have to eliminate the excuses. You smart, you in business. People come in, I don't want to do. If you plan to live here, we need to check your credit score and make sure you make enough income. We just can't say you got it covered. Am I right or wrong? Okay, so now, here's the thing. For the writers, there's a difference. Making money is not the same as earning money. All right? Making money is not the same as earning money. Making money is what you work for. Earning money is what works for you. But until you free yourself up and start the process of eliminating things, you will always be working for money. So what happens when you can't work for yourself? You have a health challenge. You get in an accident and you're going to be out for 6 weeks. What's working for you? Oh, I got short-term disability. Let me know when it kick in. I've seen so many people with short-term disability, they denied them for 8 months, and it's supposed to be short-term disability. Am I? Because they're going to deny you so they don't have to pay you. It's just like a situation now. There are some people trying to get some money on a $500 life insurance policy. Had to be on the phone 5 hours for $500 life insurance policy. You know why? It's been sold off so many times because it was cash and people bought it pennies on a dollar. And what they have made off of that little $500 may be $200,000 because of compound interest. The longer your money sits there, it's the same thing with tax. People walk around beating their chest. I got $6,000 back in my taxes. Yeah, I'm balling. Dummy. You got 6 and they got 600,000 because for that whole year they had it on a compound interest, and you happy with 6. When you could have took that 6 and eliminated 1/3 of your debt. But when you get your tax, you don't eliminate your debt. Go buy stuff that ain't got no value. You trying to put a 70, a 80-inch TV on top of a moped. Oh, y'all laughing. I saw that. Yeah, one on the back trying to hold it on top of the head. Don't go too fast. Yes. See, you need to start thinking now. What's earning me money to absorb and erase my debt? Tell me, why does that make sense? It frees up my paycheck for me now to stack money to become an investor and a producer. As long as you spending, you ain't never gonna have nothing. I know that ain't what you want to hear. Because society and marketing tells you, if you spend, look at you. Oh, I have some bougie glasses. I have some Ray-Bans. These Ray-Bans so old, I have to put lotion on the side to make sure they got a color. That's how faded they are. But we always buying the hottest and the newest thing to try to show people we got money. People with money don't show you they got money. So when people trying to floss and flaunt, I know they broke. Two things I want to check. I don't care nothing about what's in their pocket. Let me check their credit. And let me check what's earning them money. Because if you're making money, you ain't earning money. Put that in your pipe and smoke it and get your butt to class next time I have class. So here's the thing. Here's the closer. Money isn't just math. It's behavior as well. Now I'm going to have to give you this needle. Every parent in here, stick your finger up. Okay. Ain't nobody want to say nothing. Everybody that's a grandparent, stick your finger. Anybody want to say nothing? Parents, let me tell you what's coming. No one is going to plan and pay for your children's future when you didn't have a plan for them in place in the first place. I'm going to say it again, parents. No one is going to plan or pay for your children's future when you didn't have a plan in place for them. Let me tell you why. Here is what is the undercurrent that people don't know. You've already seen the affirmative action being taken away at some universities. Here's what's coming. They're going after free education. And many people are still sitting around on the bucket. I don't know where I want to go for. It's okay to laugh. I like laughter. You know. Girl, you got guts. You went out there and did something. Listen, Linda, listen. Free education is headed to the chopping block. Because here's why. Just like the affirmative action thing that people did, free education is being phased out by people who say, why should they receive a free education when my family had to pay for mine? See, there's a lot of people upset over skin color. Well, they just took that away, and like, my God, we just can't go to. Listen. Many community colleges, you can go to school for free. But see, when your culture isn't balanced like it should, we go do everything else except for get the higher skill sets to be able to go get a better job and be able to better provide for ourselves and to meet someone who's at a higher or the same level, and we can have something. Their children never deal with poverty. I talked to a young man. I will not talk about his ethnicity because then people would think I would be in. But this is what he told me. He said, Miss Campbell. I said, yes, how you doing? And he said, yeah, I'm getting ready to go back to San Diego. I'm going to get married. I said, well, I thought you got married about a year and a half ago. He said, yeah, we got married for a tax write-off. Now we're going to have the wedding because she's still in school. Now he's a practicing dentist right here in Greenville. But they were patient. They waited. And now they're going to go have the wedding, but they got married. He said, and when I saw him one day, he said, oh, yeah, I had to get a tax write-off. Because he got a bigger tax write-off if he was married. That didn't look like, well, okay. Okay. People are coming after free education. So my question to you, yes, ma'am. Yes. I'm with you because I can't help you with that. Go ahead. hmm There you go. You're right. You're right. And we just sitting around playing marbles. I got you, man. I got you, man. I won. And you're right. Because if it's not a part of your major, they're saying, and so this is the breakdown. But some people want to blame race when it's really about who can stay ahead. And you're absolutely right. So now your university is getting ready to do that if it's not a part of your major. And you know, here's what they did, especially, I don't want to say this, but in the lower education, they made you take so many add-ons to eat up your government money that the government would give you. And I don't know what the term is or the amount was, but at one point it was like $55,000 or $57,000. They ate it up with all those non-factoring things. So then before you finish, you had to pay more to finish than you did to start, because once they know you got their money, they have all of the, I can't think of what they call them. They're not guidance counselors, but they're advisors in college. They are programmed and set to give you all these courses to eat away. Now you got to go and get extra money to finish. And you're absolutely right. Thank you for that information. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about I need, because this is open. You're one of the few people that talk. The rest of them just do like this. They roll their eyes. That's why I'm going to give me a rolling camera. Pow, there you go. Because they want to phase out free education. Because if they're attacking that because you were put at a disadvantage, that now you get an advantage, they hate that you got an advantage. And so their goal is to erase free education. So then it creates a greater separation. Because if you don't have anything to work with, then you don't have anything to produce. Am I making sense? So now here's the thing. No one's going to teach you what you should have invested in. Remember, God, what was his name? Lou Rawls, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Your mind is powerful. But they want you to waste it on entertainment. You know how many people didn't pay their rent to go watch somebody and pay $1,000 a ticket? You know how many people? It was sold out. And people that had the $1,000, I'll be like, man, I'm not going over there. That doesn't produce anything for me. Because you know somebody gonna put the bootleg video on social media. Here's what happens. No one's going to teach you what you should have invested in. Closing. Here are some things for everybody. Learning new skills. Don't be the caterpillar anymore. Don't measure yourself by what you see in the mirror. Don't measure yourself by what, well, I come from nothing. Well, sometimes what you got ain't nothing. See, many people want people to give them something because they feel like they have been victimized. I'm going to tell you what Henry Ford said. If you think the government going to take care of you, he said, go talk to the American Indian. Now, you go get mad at Henry Ford. He dead. Go find his grave and knock on the tomb and tell him you didn't like what he said. He said, if you think the American government is going to be fair with you, go ask the American Indian. And I'm going to say this because this is my show. Those people that was bombed on Black Wall Street in Oklahoma at 107, at 103 years old, you know people still looked at them and told them, y'all done wasted all that breath y'all going to need to live. We ain't giving y'all no respiration. Get out of here. So you think somebody going to give you something? Okay. Learning new skills, a higher education, high-level skill sets. One thing that's insulting to me is a person that can read and write can be outperformed by someone who can't read and write, or as they would say, maybe speak English well. But they can go learn a craft and go build and renovate their houses and do all this stuff. And you sitting over here can read and write and speak English, and you still, you read what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then have the audacity to look down on people who building something and you still renting, and but whatever. Sometimes you got to take things and build them up. It may not be. See, this generation, them, are you a millennial? Okay, so what are you? G? Okay, well. She a millennial. Okay. It started with y'all. Yeah. Oh, yeah, now you're free. Somebody, yeah, show this. Yeah, started with that. All right. High-level skill sets. Here's the other thing you're going to need. Mentors. Ask me why. You'll never get through if you don't have a mentor. You have to have a guide. And I get questioned. I can be honest with you. I go, well, Reggie, how's your business going, Reggie? How are you doing? You still, the economy is bad, and inflation's 9%. And what is it again that you do? I wrestle goats. I'm an international goat wrestler. Watch the Discovery Channel, and I will be wrestling goats. And I have all the belts in every weight class. Because it's an insult to me to ask me what I do. Because you see a little bit of what I have. And what they're really saying is, how did you get through? And we want to find out, because we got to tell them, y'all need to close the gate on this. Am I making sense? So you're going to have a mentor. I don't talk to people who don't have more than I have, because there ain't nothing they can tell me. Now, I know my family, because they told me yesterday, you're so arrogant. I'm not arrogant. I just don't plan to be broken, dumb, and stupid all my life. I get with people that are way ahead of me, and I get real humble, and they start telling me stuff, and then they get me through this door, and then they get me through that door, and then they get me through. Oh, come on in, boy. Come on over here and sit down with us. Drink this white lightning. Now, there's your imagination that went over there. Okay. You need mentors. You need entrepreneurship courses. You need to learn economics. And you need to learn the value of mastering money. That's how people are like, I ain't that smart. But what I did is I listened to smart people. And they taught me things. And so now when I'm with him and I'm with them, other people have to share their information. So now I can come back. But no, my son to tell you. In fact, we got an artist now making me a goat shirt, right? I have on an international goat wrestler. When I learn to speak a little Spanish, I'm speaking Spanish to him. Because it's all the time. Well, because what they're really saying is, how did you get here? And they look at you like that. And so I'm crazy. I'll be like, what you say? Well, what do you do for a living? I wrestle goats. International goats. If you go and watch the channels where they have like Shark Week that's coming up and all that, I'm a goat wrestler. And what I'm really saying is, I wrestle people like you. Because you don't want me in the room, because you want to keep it to yourself. Hello? This is my show. This is my brand. I know it may offend somebody, but that's your choice. I am trying to awaken the minds of another generation. You ain't never going to get rich working for somebody. But you can make yourself rich by earning money that works for you. That's why you need to get in this class every third Wednesday. Have your bunkum in a seat. And we can talk. All right? Because unless you all are hanging around people that are $300 and $600 million deep in cash and buying their children $600,000 homes and they 37 years old, you son? You sure? He may not know today. Okay, so we're going to skip that one. But I'm just saying, you need to be around people who are going to propel you to the next level. Because the average person that gets money, spend money. The smart people earn money and make money go earn more money for them. You figured out what you was? What are you? I'm Gen Z. I'm not a millennial. I'm Gen Z. I have all that broken down. I see now that I got a diversified class. I'm going to have to bring all that up so I can tell y'all what are y'all pros and cons and how y'all making my hair grow. See you soon. So you made about 1 year. Yeah, good for you. She's like, don't put me up there. I'm a Gen Z. We're done with the camera. Any questions before we go? Yeah, it's off now. Yeah, let me tell you what I want to tell you. Go ahead. Okay. Yes, I will do that. But let me tell you something. I met with one person. They ain't been back. But if you